This weekend I watched Resident Evil Afterlife, the fourth in the ongoing series based on the video game series. It's again written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson and stars Milla Jovovich as Alice, some kind of super being created by the Umbrella Corporation in partnership with their development of the T virus, which turns people into zombies and zombies into monsters and people into things and Coke into Pepsi and all sorts of other things. I watched the first three films when they were released, and after that, I felt no strong compulsion to continue. But Zach Cregger, the director of last year's Weapons, one of the best films of last year, one of the best horror films in some time, has followed up that film with a reboot of the Resident Evil movies, which is being released later this summer. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to fill in the gaps and watch the four films that I previously skipped. So, Resident Evil Afterlife is the fourth in the series, as I said. It follows on from the third film with Alice having now found an army of clones and attempting to take down Umbrella's operations in Tokyo, and then searching for safe haven and the people she worked with before. First at a community in Alaska, and then in Los Angeles, where she discovers a prison containing survivors under siege from the undead. And she helps them escape, unaware that Umbrella has further plans afoot with its evil head, Albert Wexler, I think his name was, planning all sorts of goings on. It's pretty much incoherent. Um, it's very bad. I think that's the main thing is that it's a very bad film. It's very hard to tell what's going on. There seems to be no real story, very little in the way of structure. Um, the acting is bad. Milla Jovovich is a bad actor. You can't tell what her character might be thinking because her expression is generally just completely blank. The supporting cast are quite weak. Um, and the film was shot for 3D. I don't know if it was shot in 3D or if it was processed in post production, but it means that the visual effects work is often quite poor. It looks very badly matted together, and a lot of it seems to be created solely for the purpose of having stuff that's pointing out at the viewer. So we have lots of things that are stupid and don't make sense. We have action scenes that are moronic and hard to follow. The actor playing Wexler, the notional villain, is just. I mean, I can't imagine the character in the video game having any less dimension. He wears black and sunglasses and occasionally smirks with half his mouth and is just a completely bland, completely flat generic villain. All the characters are completely flat. Um, it is, as I say, it's badly directed, badly acted, badly written. Um, the action is incoherent. There is no aspect of the film that is not bad. Everything about it is poor. It can't even be bothered with the continuity of the series. The previous film had the T virus, such as its many bounties, turning the world into a giant desert. Now the water's all back with no explanation. The zombies have tentacles that come out of their mouths, which they didn't before. No explanation. It's just Anderson clearly doesn't care. No one cares. Really, no one cares. The result is lazy, sloppy, slapdash, insulting, and it made $300 million at the box office because it was released in 2010 when everyone was going crazy for 3D movies. And with the 3D incredibly badly forced into this, so that you have very contrived shots, very poor visual effects, um, very nonsensical actions by characters or within the action scenes. Everything is just there to serve the most basic, most superficial type of spectacle. Um, I did a video a while ago about the documentary about George Romero's attempt to make a film of Resident Evil and about how interesting that might have been. And now that we have Zach Cregger, a really talented filmmaker, tackling a Resident Evil film in the next few months, I'm really interested to see what he does with the material. At this point, I'm even really interested to see what um, the seventh film in the series, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, directed by Johannes Roberts, a talented filmmaker who's a bit up and down in terms of some of his material, in terms of some of the quality of his films, but has ability. I can't imagine this possibly be any worse than this. And yet, there are still two more Resident Evil films to go, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Pray for me.